that a European boot hit the U.S., we've had invasive plants, and one of the most common also happens to be an edible medicinal, and that's the dandelion. A lot of people don't realize this is not native. This is naturalized. It doesn't really compete too much with our native stuff, but this is a non-native plant. Actually, the word dandelion is a corruption of a French word that meant dent de lion, the tooth of the lion, because the teeth are so deeply lobed. They're very toothy. But you know, there are a lot of uses for dandelion. People make actually one of my favorite wild foods is dandelion fritters. Take the sort of unopened flowers and fry them, and they're kind of like fried Brussels sprouts. They're pretty tasty.
Oh.
Yeah, just don't collect. A couple of rules about collecting wild stuff. Dandelions, you're not going to hurt the population. You could collect for 10 years and not hurt the population, and it wouldn't matter because they're not native. Certain things, though, you know, they reproduce only so often, and sometimes you just come across a patch of something. You know, you don't want to collect the whole patch. You know, if you come across a patch of ginseng, you don't want to take the whole thing. You want to leave things. And you really don't want to take anything from the preserve because that's against the rules. Everything that's out there stays out there. But you also want to be careful where you collect. This might not be, I mean, you'd probably be safe here, but a good rule of thumb is, that's also something from medieval times, rule of thumb, but we're not going to talk about that. The parking lots, things run off of parking lots, oil and antifreeze run off of parking lots, and oftentimes the yard kind of acts as a buffer zone, so the plants will suck that stuff up. So you don't want to collect anything around construction sites or disturbed areas or roads where they might spray for mosquitoes, or just the stuff that comes off of cars. Salt, I mean, up until recently, salt and cinders was allowed to have arsenic in it in Ohio. So you really don't want to collect along roadsides. If you're going to wild harvest things, it actually needs to be wild harvested. You know, it's really to be safe. And even that's safe is kind of an iffy word here. I'm not really going to feed you anything today. We might smell some things, but everybody's different and everybody has different allergies. So I don't feed people really anything. I can tell you what you could eat, but I'm not going to tell you that it won't make your tongue swell up. You know.